Hey you guys, welcome back to the Duggan Racecraft YouTube channel. On this episode, I show you how to T5 swap a Fox body Mustang in less than 10 minutes. Alright, so we got my dad's beautiful 1982 Mustang GT in the shop. It's a T-top car with the T-tops out. So I've been telling my dad for a couple months that we're going to work on this, and finally I've run out of excuses, so now I have to actually do it. I have a T5 swap we're going to do with this. Should be literally less than an hour ordeal. It'll take me longer to get the exhaust out than it will to swap to the T5. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll pick it back up. Alright, so under the car. As you can see, we still got the S-Rod in here, and she's quite a leaky bitch. A couple things to note before we get started. Aside from the obvious things that you're gonna need before you start this project, like the proper flywheel, clutch assembly, everything like that. As long as your existing setup has a 157 tooth flywheel and your clutch is a 10 spine clutch, then you can go ahead and reuse those for the T5 swap. Some people say you should get a different clutch, but I don't see why, because they're literally the same thing. You'll need the bell housing, transmission, shifter. Drive shaft, I do believe, is the same. I use the same drive shaft on my other 82 GT with no problems. The transmissions are the same length and everything like that. So first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is disconnect the starter, drop the exhaust, and then disconnect the drive shaft. Okay, as you can see, drive shaft's out, exhaust is out of the way, starter's out. As you can see, I'm sure, the top bolt there on my starter, or on the bell housing for the starter, threads were pulled out of that when we got this car. So I just nut and bolted it so that it was just a temporary fix, because I knew that I'd be in here doing this eventually anyways. And here we are. So a couple things to note before you go ahead and try and take the transmission out. I got connectors, blah, 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 wiring for the reverse sensor, neutral safety if your car has one. This one does not. Speedometer, then you can take out the nuts for the mounts, body mounts for the cross member, 4 bell housing bolts, or 4 transmission bolts. Transmission come out, disconnect the clutch cable from the bell housing, 6 bell housing bolts, bell housing comes off, and then go ahead and we will put it back together. Alright, so as you can see, we got the old transmission with new transmission. This old transmission's an S-Rod is what they called it. Came factory in 79 to 82 cars, and then in 83 they switched to the T5. Non-world class, world class came later. This is a world class unit. As you can see, dimensionally they are remarkably similar. Overall length, pretty close. Input shaft length's the same. Bearing retainers are the same. Obviously input shafts. Transmission mounts slightly in different spots. I don't know if you can see that. Nice thing about these transmission mounts though, I'm not sure if this one is, but like the one that I got for the GT, this is slotted so that these mounts in here will slide. I'm sure you can just cut the tacks on this one to do the same thing. If you don't have transmission crossmember, LMR sells them. There's a couple companies that make them and sell them. So physical mounts are gonna be the same though, so I'll reuse the mount from this one for this one. Even though it's kind of beat, against my better judgment, I suppose. Just as a temporary thing though, I'll go back in here in the near future and swap that out. So, without further ado, let's get it in. All right, so we got the car finished up. My dad helped me with a couple things before we went down to the house. So now got it down on the ground, got all the fluids back in it. So we're gonna go take him for a spin and see what he has to say about this. So just a quick refresher, this combo is basically the same thing I have in the other GT. Roller motor, decent sized cam, T5, 8.8 with 411s in it. Pretty stout combo. A little bit of chop. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, see, T-tops make it so much easier to get in.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's pretty fucking rowdy now.
Oh, you took it for a ride?
I did.
Beat the fuck out of it.
It feels much better than it did.
That don't take much. Everybody always says, oh, it's got a cam in it. Well, every fucking motor's got a cam. I need the traction bar.
Yeah. That overdrive is really nice to have.
But, yeah. Totally different car. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Got a nice little rumble to it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so that was a much needed upgrade for this car. Before, this car with the S-Rod had a second gear scratch, so it would constantly pop out of second gear, making it not as fun to drive. So getting a brand new shifting T5 is muy bien. As well as having 410s in this car, it's almost a must to have that really nice overdrive. I think the S-Rod has a 0.8 to 1 overdrive, whereas the T5 has a 0.68 to 1 overdrive. So good step in the right direction. Obviously having 5-speed versus 4 is more fun. A couple of things I didn't go over in this video, which you will see in the next video about this car. I didn't do the trans hump, which you really should do. They did that for 83 and up cars. They had the hump in the transmission to accommodate the shifter. Otherwise, the shifter pokes through the floor and there's no way to seal it up. So we're gonna do the trans hump. The quadrant for the pedal assembly is also going to be involved. That'll apply to 82 and up cars. 79 to 81 cars had a different style clutch cable. So I'm pretty sure you can convert to that. Another thing we're going to do, I'm going to do SN95 pedals in this. So they'll have the aluminum pads with the rubber dimples on them. That'll be a nice upgrade. And as well, we're going to do an 83 and up steering column. So we get that nice 83 tri-spoke steering wheel. All really good upgrades, and I'm going to show you how to do that in the next video. A couple times mentioned in this video, we talked about a tick that this car had. Come to find, it was because of a bad rocker arm. One of the sockets for the push rod and one of the rocker arms was loose, causing a ticking sound. So luckily we found that out, and now this car runs awesome. Has a really nice chop for that X-Cam. And finally, after a while, this car is running really good. That's going to do it for this video. Really quick, I'd just like to say thanks to everybody who watches these videos, subscribes, comments, likes, everything like that. It does help the channel grow, and we're making some pretty good progress. A lot of good content to come, especially on this car, the other GT, and my King Cobra. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. Like the video if you like the video. Comment if you have any questions. That's going to do it for this one, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Y'all take care now.